My name is Anton Redensi. I'm 26 years old. I'm from Savannah, Georgia, and I'm currently an Army sniper.
Very well. Are you on speakerphone?
I am.
Okay, cool. So tell me, like, in 2 minutes, the story of your life.
Well, when I was... Do you want me to start, like... How do you want that run? Do you want me to just say, hey, this is the story of my life, or just...
Here, yeah.
Okay.
Here, this is why I joined the military. This is
really?
how hard it was.
I joined the military out of Savannah, Georgia, and went straight into the Army Ranger program at Fort Benning. Went to airborne school and Ranger indoctrination program. Spent 4 years at 75th Ranger Regiment, and got out, served as a contractor for the military, taught some marksmanship courses, and then I was recalled to go to Afghanistan with the Connecticut National Guard, where I was deployed as a sniper team leader. I got injured in Afghanistan in July, and I've been at Walter Reed since, and I'm about to be completely recovered.
Tell me about your injury. What happened?
When I was injured, my team and I were coming off of a mountain after a mission with some meeting with some of the village elders. We were ambushed in an RPG and machine gun attack, and rather than stay put and risk injury to myself or team, I started moving down the mountain. While I was jumping down the mountain, I ended up tearing all the ligaments in my left leg, left ankle, and had to be medevaced for treatment.
And how has been the rehabilitation process? How close to 100% are you?
Well, the rehabilitation process has been pretty extensive. I've been here since August. I've been doing rehab since September, October, and I'm about as close to 100% as I'm ever going to be, but I can run, I can jump, swim, and play. Everything that I once could, I can do now.
And compared to the other guys, how well can you do all those things?
Compared to the other guys, I can probably do just about anything that I could before, so probably right on par with them.
Very good. What kind of teenager were you? Were you focused? Were you a partier?
Oh no, I wasn't exactly focused, but I wasn't a partier when I was a teenager. I did my fair share of partying, but I wasn't necessarily a nerd either. I tended to gravitate more towards the fun side, trying to go out and get myself in trouble, or go out and play lacrosse, go hiking, and then come home and hang out with the guys.
What do you do for fun?
Well, for fun, I like to go hunting. Hunting is a big part of my life. I'm either turkey hunting or deer hunting. I get out and go hiking, camping, running. Running is a big one. I love to run. If I can't run, then I feel funky during the week. But anything to stay outside and in shape or active is right up my alley.
What is your
Workout routine on a, let's say, day like today, I'll go in and I'll start out by doing 10 sets of pull-ups or 10 sets of chin-ups, and then I'll hit the treadmill for about 20 minutes and go back over to do triceps, do some tricep extensions, a couple sets of those, and then cool down with some abs, some crunches or oblique sets.
Would you list being a sniper and all? I'm sure you're very familiar with guns. Would you list all the guns you've used in your career?
The weapon systems I've used in my shooting career have ranged from the standard M4 with an ACOG to the M24 sniper weapon system, the M110 semi-automatic sniper system, the 300 Win Mag, the M107 Barrett 50 caliber sniper rifle, and the M14.
How good of a shot are you?
I consider myself a pretty good shot. I can stay consistent out to 800, 900 meters.
Forces unit?
Well, the Ranger, you mean the Ranger unit?
Yes.
I was at the Ranger unit for 4 years. 75th Ranger Regiment for 4 years.
Elaborate on it? Like, what's the training like? Like how superior it is to regular, infantry, et cetera, et cetera.
Oh, gee. Ranger training can be summed up in the Ranger Creed, which is fairly long and exhausting, but it's more than the average soldier does. Clearly, it causes you to be a more elite soldier. You're trained in land, sea tactics, capable of being dropped in anywhere in the world within 18 hours. It's grueling. You do a lot of training, mountainous, a lot of cardiovascular training, a lot of hardcore, combat-focused physical training, and that can be anything from marksmanship. That can be anything from medevac training, combat medevac training, moving guys out under fire, running 8 miles with body armor on, running 5 miles with a 40-pound rucksack and a gas mask. Did an awful lot of that, carrying logs and weighted skidcoes or stretchers for as far as you can, obstacles. We used to do 4 obstacle courses in an hour, which was, and they were spread out over Fort Benning, so it was about a 5-mile run with 4 obstacle courses, and the goal was to at least beat an hour every time if you couldn't beat your own time. That was always a good time. It was my favorite part. I think a lot of that that kind of activity makes Rangers more cohesive, more elitists, if you will. Kind of builds that badass bond that everybody seems to get from being in a Ranger unit.
What was the camaraderie between you and the other guys?
Well, everybody's got the camaraderie between in a Ranger unit is everybody has their own alpha male type attitudes, and you get a lot of guys together, and that can go one of two ways. It's a wolf pack, or it's really, there's a lot of animosity in the group, but depending on the leadership and the way the guys, the length of time the guys have worked together, usually the longer you work together, the more you work together, the better that bond is, and it's less of an aggressive alpha male attitude than it is a cohesive one team, one fight attitude.
And what about, like, your view of other special forces military branches? Like, for example, like, do you look down on SEALs, or would you, like, love to compete with a SEAL and beat his ass? Like, what is kind of like the inside animosities between the teams, and just in good sportsmanship?
Oh goodness! Among the other units, we always say we send the Ranger quitters to special forces units. So our guys go to special forces where they can do whatever they do over there. That's not to say that they don't do what they do well. They just tend to be guys who can't hack it in Ranger units. SEALs have always been kind of, anywhere I've gone for training, you've always known where the SEALs have been because everybody in the town knows. The prima donnas. Rangers are supposed to be quiet professionals. We go in, we have our cover stories, maybe. The SEALs don't really care about that at all. They'll go in and tell everybody in the world, hey, I'm a Navy SEAL, and they do what they do. But they to their credit, they do have a lot of things that they excel at, and they, for example, amphibious landings, all the riverine stuff that those guys do, they do that very well. So, not to take too much away from them, but I do think their prima donnas and the special forces guys are kind of we all look at them as a kind of a tier down from us anyway, or a level down from us as they are. So that's kind of they don't exactly have that working in their favor. Marine special forces units.
You want to kick some Navy SEAL ass.
Is that what you're looking for? Some of that?
Would you say that?
Hell, I'll kick some special forces ass. I don't know. I'll kick some Navy SEALs ass, but when to become a sniper, you have to one you have to meet. There's certain physical or certain requirements that you have to meet. You have to be psychologically evaluated. You have to be recommended from your commander. You have to undergo. You have to be qualified marksmanship on your standard army marksmanship test, and then you get selected. You say hey, or not necessarily selected. You get recommended to go to the course, and you go to the class. There's a whole host of qualifications ranging from unknown distance fires, stalking exercises, uh, camouflage camouflage techniques, and moving targets. There's a whole range of things. You have to score 70% or better in each event in order to pass, or be a first time go or second time go. You can't. There's a whole different set of ways that they use to grade these events. But I was picked up because of my training in Ranger Regiment, and because I was a long range marksmanship instructor for the Army for about 2 years. So when I went on this deployment with the Connecticut National Guard, they said, "Hey, you know what? You're going to be on our sniper team."
That's pretty cool. So, how do you do? Are you married? Do you have kids? What's your social life like right now?
I'm not married. I don't have any kids, but there are a few ladies that I'm seeing at the moment.
A few ladies?
Well, it's better than a few guys, right?
Well, nothing wrong with either. So are you a little bit like a ladies' man?
I wouldn't say I'm a ladies' man. I'm a friendly guy.
Where do you take your girls on a date?
I'm sorry?
Where do you go? Where do you take your girls on a date? Like, what do you do on a regular date?
A regular date or a first date?
First date.
First date, try to do something out of the ordinary because nobody wants to just go to the movies or go to dinner or go to have a beer. That stuff's fine and dandy, but you want to stick out. So go for meet up somewhere in a park, go for a walk, meet up for tea or sushi. Sushi's an excellent first date kind of thing. Because you really get a feel for a person's like adventurous, depending on what they try. Do they, are they willing to experiment with the roles, or are they scared of seafood in the first place? And that's kind of a deal breaker.
What is your soft spot or Achilles heel?
As far as
In both, in battle and in life.
oh gee, I don't really know if I have a soft spot in battle. I can't say. My Achilles heel would probably be that I think that I can make decisions a little bit faster than I do. In my personal life, I think that that's actually that works. My Achilles heel in both my personal life and my professional life is my speed in decision making. I think that I can do it a little faster. Not necessarily that it's bad. I just feel slow in my head when I do it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe you just like to think things a little bit more, like it takes you a minute to assess everything. What is your biggest fear in life? And not like, I'm talking about like specific, tangible, sizable fear, not like, oh, I have a fear of failure, not something like that big, something like, oh, I'm afraid of heights, oh, I'm afraid of sharks. What are you afraid of?
I'm afraid of walking into spider webs in the dark. That's one of those things where everybody, no matter who you are, you take off your nods and you kind of unass all your gear, trying to make sure that you don't have a spider on your face, or maybe you don't do those things and you just drive on. But spiders are scary, but I can't say that there's not a whole lot of tangible things that I'm afraid of. There's not being blown up would probably be one of those things. I don't necessarily like the idea of IEDs, but outside of that, I don't think that there's a whole lot I'm afraid of that's tangible.